Oh, wow.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for the donation.
Whoever left that. It isn't showing us who it was.
Yeah, we don't know the name.
But yeah, thank y'all. Thank you. See.
That's how we come on. Asante Sana. Thank you. Appreciate that donation.
Somebody already commented, said, we already know, brother, we can't protect our children, even ourselves, because our elders and our leaders can't protect us in so many ways. And as you already know, that.
Well, you know, self-preservation is the #1 rule of life. One of the #1 rules of life. So, yeah, we have some people. We'll talk about that. Let's let some people come in here first. Sana, let some more people come in here before we get started. This journey, shalom, family. Shalom, shalom, family. Hope you're doing well. First, Mike 2. Mike check 1. Can y'all hear us well? If you can hear us well, put 1 in the chat. If you can hear us well, put a 1 in the chat, please.
Yeah.
And if you can't hear us well, put a 2. Okay, we got 1s. The Oak Warrior. Hello, family. Got a bunch of 1s. Good. Okay. The Oak Warrior. Oak Warrior 33. Hey, family. Love you all. Hello, sis. Love you as well. Shalom. Lena. Shalom.
Blessings, Afrique. Lioness.
Loud and clear. Good. Okay.
Okay. 1. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So welcome, y'all. Welcome. Right now we got people coming in. As you on the title, this is another heavy topic and something that we gotta something we really gotta touch on and talk about, and really shine light on and really keep it real about, you know.
Yeah. Man.
To
be honest, I don't even want to do. I don't even want to say this message, but not my will.
Yeah, it's the unfortunate reality of what we have to, live within, and what we have to experience, and what we really have to, be truthful about what we're dealing with in the state of the world that we in. It's one of those things that I don't like talking about either. A lot of people like talking about it, but it really is the reality of the situation. It's too much evidence that's showing, the truth and showing what's going on. So when you're called, you have to do things that you don't want to do, but you are forced to do.
Yeah. This is I don't think we ever did a message like this before. Maybe we have in the past, but maybe it's been a while. But we're gonna talk about some things today, some really important and what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think of the word I'm looking for. But it's not an easy word to say what we're gonna be talking about. So we're gonna get started in just a minute. And they are proud doing it. It's ridiculous. Yeah. We're going to get started in just a minute. Let a few more people come on in. And then we're going to get right into it. I don't know if some of y'all probably saw the live we did last week on, what was the name of the live? The End?
Yeah, The End.
And yeah, something like, I think it was The End. That was the thumbnail. What was the title of it? Dang, that's crazy. I can't even remember the title.
So
it was just
much
6
work.
days ago.
You're doing a lot of work.
On, the live from last week, but
we got a lot of videos.
Shutting everything down. Yeah. The live we did last week, it was called...
Somebody said it? Oh, no, yeah.
It was called They're Shutting Everything Down. If you haven't seen it, definitely go and watch that video, because that was like the first live we did after like 5 months, and it was like... it was a good word. But, yeah, go watch that video. But in that video, I had talked a little bit about... I had told y'all that I had like some dreams about the situation with the children. But I didn't really like go into details about it. But we're going to kind of go into more details about what was revealed to us. So, yeah, just let me know when you're ready to start.
It's on me. You want to wait till a certain amount of people come in, or?
Nah, not really.
All right. Let's see.
So I guess I should start with girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So before I get into the dreams, this is the third dream I've had now. Last week it was 2 dreams. Now we're on the third dream. But
Hold on, let's give a disclaimer first.
okay.
Yeah. This information that we're bringing forth, what we're about to talk about, is not to cause fear, and it's not to, make anyone do anything, but it's just to provide information and give our people what we've been, like my wife said, what's been revealed to us and the understanding that we've been blessed with. It's the truth, and we have to man and woman up and really look at the facts of what's going on and step into our rightful positions and step into our roles as, head crushers, basically. We have to stand on that, and we have to understand that there's evil lurking. Evil
Yeah.
is real. Evil is out here, and people are doing nefarious, evil things. But if evil is present, that means goodness is ever more present. Alternative is here as well, and that evil is motivating someone to do more positivity, if that makes sense. So with this information, don't be afraid, don't be scared, don't be fearful. Just use it as ammunition to pull and push you into the right direction for your family. So yeah, don't get scared, but just take this information.
Buffering a bit. Okay. Should we move this? Hold on, maybe switch over to what you call it. Give us a second, y'all. Fix the connection. I just moved out of Babylon a week ago with 3 of my young children. Congratulations. Which country did you go to?
Oh, I hope
Can
that's better.
Yeah, can y'all hear us better now? Let us know. Give us a 1 if you can hear, and 2 if you can't hear before we get started.
Yeah. Mic check 1 2.
Yeah, y'all can hear us. Give us a 1. 1.
1. Okay.
1.
All right, good.
Okay.
Y'all, don't get fearful. Don't be afraid. Use this information for educational purposes only, man. We have dominion. We still have power. We just have to make sure that we keep our families protected and stay in the right mindset to be good in these times. So yeah, man. Without without further ado, let's go ahead and get this show on the road.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start. So before I get into the dreams that I had, in a YouTube video, maybe like it was a minute ago. It was like, it had to have been last year. I was watching. I don't even know how I got on the girl's channel. I guess most I wanted me to see girl. I think I was looking up like titles or something, and then I saw like story. We were gonna do a video like on story time, and then I saw this girl's video pop up, and I turned it on, and I was watching it, and the girl was talking about how she had been basically kidnapped, and she was kidnapped by a white man, and he basically like took her to his, and this was like in some small town, but he basically took her. What she said was that he took her to his home, and he basically had her locked up in some room for like years, to the point where like she had either it was 1 child or several children by him. And the guy was like, I guess people were asking her questions like, well, did you try to escape? Like, what happened or whatever. And she said she tried to escape several times, and every time she would try to escape, she was like, the police officers or like people in the town would just like find her and bring her back to this man's house. And she was like, she got to know his whole family, like the sister, the mother, whoever else was in the house. She wound up like basically like getting to know all of them because she was living there. Well, she was held hostage there for so long. And she was like, you could tell like she was still traumatized by the event. I don't remember how she said she wound up escaping. I think she said one day she just like managed to escape on her own, and they didn't find her. She managed to like make it to safety somewhere. But she was like, when she's still trying to get justice, and basically like she can't get justice. Like every time she tries to go to the town for justice, they basically don't file the case. They protect the person. And she's like, yeah, the whole town was in on it. And when I heard that, I was like, it's one of those things that you hear it and you're like, well, it could be true, but like, who knows? Like, it's crazy people that get on the internet every day and make up stories and things of that nature. So, you know, I'm like, well, you know, I just like heard it and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, if it is true, but I don't know if it's true or not. And I just went about my business. So, fast forward to now, which is like almost like a year later, I've had 3 dreams within the past week about, and I hope I can say this word on here, child, you know what, trafficking. And I'll just go through them. The first dream, let's see. All right, so like in each of the dreams, like I wasn't the person that it was happening to, but like I was basically in their body, if that makes sense. I don't really know how to explain it. Like it wasn't me, but I was like in the body of somebody experiencing like what was going on as if it was me, but it was a different person. So in the first dream, I was like I woke up in a dream in like some dark room, and there was like a man standing over me, like some big man. And in the dream, I was like a child, and like I just remember fearing like fear just like overcame me, like. And then the man said, and I have to like PG this up a little bit because this is YouTube, but the man said in the dream, he was like, I'm basically about to bust your. No, hold on, backtrack. Before that happened, the person that I was in the dream was raped by the man. And then like I remember feeling in the dream like, oh man, like wow, like you know, like feeling terror, but I was like, okay, it's over now. Like, okay, get back. If y'all have to hear me, give me a 1.
There you go.
Till they're circling.
Time going.
Okay. Y'all can hear me, give me a 1 before I start back the story. If y'all can hear, it says it keep freezing up. I wonder if I should get another bundle on there. Think I should? After the first guy, he did it the regular way, and then I remember thinking like, okay, like it's over now. I can like try to like get myself together, and then another man came in there, even more nefarious than the first one, and he was the one that mentioned doing it from the other way. And I remember feeling like a feeling of terror, like, oh my gosh, like these people are about to come in here like back to back to back to back, and like this is what they're planning on doing to me. And I just remember like several floors, like maybe like at least like 3 or 4 floors in the building, and the warehouse. And when I got outside, I was like in Minnesota or like just like a regular small town in America. And like I saw like some police officers. Now it's freezing. Wow. Hold on, y'all.
Oh. How's this, y'all?
And I'm like, this again. No, they don't.
Yeah, mic check, mic check. Now we still gonna listen.
All right, can y'all hear me again? Lord. Like, why does it keep stopping at that part? Like that's the worst part. Okay, one, better.
All right.
Okay, should I just go back or?
No, just keep going.
Okay, so when I managed to escape out of the building, it was like a nice suburban town, and there was a police officer there, like one of the old school police officers, the ones that have like the hard hats with the brim around it, like a Texas, not a Texas, a state trooper, something like that. And I remember like running to him frantically, like, oh my gosh, like, and like telling him like what was going on in the building. I'm like, look, like they're in there like, you know, raping people and stuff. And he looked at me and laughed, and he was like, yeah, like, of course, like the whole town's in on it. Like nobody's gonna help you. Get out of here. And that was the first dream. The second dream was, okay, in the second dream, I was in a store. I think it was like a Whole Foods or something. And I was, there was a girl that I saw in there that I knew from college. And, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, there was a girl I saw in a dream from college. And then for some reason, like we got into an argument. And then she was like, I'm gonna call the cops on you. And I was like, okay, like, so I wound up paying for my food, and then I went outside, and then she was like talking out there, talking to some cops outside. And so I was just like, whatever, I'm just gonna keep walking and go to my car and go and leave. And then as I was walking to my car, I think I saw Tim in the dream, and he had like a $20 bill. He was gonna like try to pay for parking. And I think he was asking me for change, like, do you have change? And I was like, I think I got some change. And I was like rummaging around in my purse for some money. And then the police officers, you know how they be, they just like stop and mess with you for any old reason. He's like, well, what are you doing rummaging in your purse for money? Like, are you doing a drug deal here? And I'm like, no, like we literally just left the store. We got to pay for our parking. And he was like, no. I think you're selling drugs. You're selling drugs. I got to take you to jail. So he wound up taking me to jail in the dream. And in the dream, it wasn't me. It was someone else. But I was like in the person's body. And then in the jail, there's like an area that isn't even part of the jail. I don't know if it's like an underground chamber or like a separate area, but there's like a room down there where they take people and they basically like rape people there. They do all sorts of stuff. There's like secret areas in prisons where they do like different things to people. So I remember like in the dream, the person was raped in the dream, and then like afterwards, I remember like being like, you know, like I'm gonna press charges. And he was like, press charges? Like, he laughed. He was like, we are the police. Like, no one even knows you're here. There's no record of you being here. Like, after this, I'm about to drop you back off outside. Like, you're not gonna know who I am. No one's gonna tell. Like, we all in on this. We all like take people back here and we do whatever we want to do with them. And there's like an area designated for that. So that was the second dream. And then in the third dream, which I think the third dream was probably like one of the craziest. The third dream was about, again, in the dream, I was a child. And in the dream, I was a little Mexican child, maybe like 2 or 3 years old. And I remember, again, in the dream, I was in like a warehouse looking building. And I remember like knowing in the dream, like I had been violated. I don't want to keep saying the R word, but I remember in the dream that I had just recently been violated, and I was like trying to escape from the building I was in. And like there was like all these different tunnel ways and different ways to go. It's like looks like a warehouse or like a factory on the inside. And I was just like trying to figure out different ways to go. And like after like the 10th time of me trying to get out of there, I managed to like drop. Y'all know them old school buildings, they have like the garbage chutes where like you can throw the garbage in there and then it like takes you down to like a garbage can on the outside or like at the bottom level of the building. I wound up like finding something like that and like falling through the chute into the outside, into like a dumpster. And like when I got outside, like I noticed it was like armed guards, like just like security guards like patrolling the front area. And then there was like a Mexican family who I can assume from the dream they were like the janitors of the place. They cleaned the place up. So it was like a wife, her husband, and then like another little Mexican girl who was like around my age in the dream, like 2 or 3 years old. So I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, like maybe they'll help me. And so I was like looking at them. Like at first I was scared, like, oh my gosh, like if I go over there, are they gonna turn me in? But they were just looking and not saying nothing. They were just like looking and not saying nothing. So I was like, let me just try to go over there. And so I wound up sitting over there, and I remember telling them like, oh my gosh, like please get me out of here. Please get me out of here. And then the lady was just like looking at me like pretending like she was still on the phone, like shh, like just chill, like just pretend like you're part of the family, because like I said, there was already another little girl there who was like around the same age. So she was just like, just pretend like you're part of the family. And then they were waiting on the garbage truck to come and pick up the trash. And then some vehicle came to pick up the trash, and they all loaded in there. And I wound up getting on the thing with them, and they let me out because they thought that I was part of their family, like one of the little girls. And then I remember like once I got into the vehicle and like the gate closed behind us, and I know that I was gone out of that place. And we were like in a regular suburban city, like everything was just like the sun was shining, like people were just walking around, like nothing, like a whole crazy situation wasn't going on in the building right there. And I remember just like getting in the vehicle and just like screaming, like in terror, like from all the stuff that had happened inside of the warehouse. So that was the 3 dreams that I had, and that was like within 1 week's time. I mean, the Most High has never like impressed something on me like that much. Like in a week's time, like like night after night after night, I keep having the same dreams, but about like different aspects of the situation.
Yeah. Just to add on her dreams, she had told me, she mentioned it like she said in the live last week, and I hadn't heard anything about a dream until the live. So I was like, "What? I didn't know you dreamed about something like that. What was that about?" So I didn't really hear about it until the live. So I didn't think much of it. And she said something, I would say 2 or 3 days ago. She was like, "I had another dream about the same situation," basically telling about the dream that she had. And if you guys know our story, if you don't know our story, just a little information on it. My wife had a dream that we were in Africa, doing what we're doing now before we actually did this. She had a dream when we were in the process of trying to find a home in America before we left. She had a dream that we were in Africa, actually paving the way for our people. So after she told me that dream, I knew that it was time for us to make this leap of faith. So whenever she comes with a dream now, I'm like, okay, hold on, all right, let's evaluate this. Let's see what you're talking about. Let's see if we can get an understanding. So with this the last dream that she said with the terror, we talked about it that morning and we briefly touched on it. And when we got in the car and we started going on about our day, and I got on Instagram, and I usually don't listen to like certain videos all the times, but this one particular video came across my feed, and it was basically a Caucasian woman. She was testifying in front of some people, talking about how some people came out and speaking about these things going on within the government. Like it's a big thing. They're making billions of dollars off of doing all this type of things underground and under the nose and really in plain sight to a lot of people and children. So it's documented evidence in place that's stating that this is something that they've been doing for hundreds of years. This is something that's been going on since we've been taking on the ships to that country. So that confirmation. And today, when I came home, I was headed home. We was about to do this live. I got another confirmation that mentioned what happened in that video. I just saw it. It's so many different confirmations. Dang, what happened?
It'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back. Well, yeah, basically with the first confirmation, the lady said it on the video, and I was like, okay, this is something that we need to really talk about. And I sent her the video, and when I sent it to her, we came home, and she was like, "You probably didn't believe me when I mentioned it to you earlier." I was like, "No, I believed you because I listened to your dreams, but just to hear someone else confirm it was like, okay, all right, this is something that's really really going on, and we really have to use the platform that we've been blessed with to talk about it, because that's the only reason we got here, to be able to be a voice and shine light on the situations that need to be talked about. So yeah, we had to come and shine light on it.
Yeah, and going back to the video that he was talking about the white lady that was talking about what was going on. She was a whistleblower, and if you guys don't know what's going on right now, is that like one of the scriptures talks about in the end, like all will be revealed. That's what's going on right now with these whistleblowers. This is nothing but the scriptures being revealed, being fulfilled, with these people coming forward and basically spilling the beans on like what all has been going on and what they have been doing. And all of the secret things are being revealed.
It came back.
You remember?
Yeah, it came back.
Go ahead.
I saw a video that's saying that they're using the malls, the abandoned malls, the malls that like if there's like a few stores inside of them that's still open. I remember when I was back in Memphis, there was a mall we had in Hickory Ridge Mall. I'm not sure if this is going on within the mall, that mall specifically, but on another video, they were talking about how a lot of those stores, those abandoned stores, are like holding areas in those malls to keep people inside, to keep them to they can take them on to do their nefarious things. So yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And oh yeah, the whistleblower. Yeah, so like everything is being revealed, and these people are telling on themselves. For one, because they're infighting, they're fighting each other. So each side is trying to make the other side look worse than the other. And also, there are some people who are actually having moral pricks of consciousness. Like, look, like yeah, I signed up. I was a patriot for America. I didn't sign up for like enslaving children and global sex trafficking and all these different things. So basically, this lady was a whistleblower, and she was just basically spilling the beans. She was like, yeah, like this thing is deep. Like this goes all the way up to the highest forms of government. This is not just some petty, like thugs who are doing. No. This is a global scheme. This is a well orchestrated, well thought out, well planned, highly evil, sadistic, and profitable business that they've been running for centuries, right under our very noses. These warehouses and buildings that are in people's neighborhoods, they're doing all sorts of things in there. All sorts of things. And the whole government, from the police to the people below to the people on top, everyone's in on it except for us. Every year there's millions of children that just pop up missing each day. Like how does millions of children just disappear off the face of the earth? Nobody knows where they are, where they've been, what happened to them. There was another video we saw, and this one was actually on the news. I'll try to post a link after we get off. I'll try to find it, but it was actually on Phil's channel, African Diaspora News Channel, like years ago. But basically, the people from Chad, I believe it was the country of Chad in Africa, they intercepted a plane that was leaving, like an NGO plane that was trying to take out of Chad, and they intercepted it and made the plane land back down before it could really take off and get out of their airspace, and they made the plane come back down. When they opened up that plane door, do y'all know they had like 300 children in there, African children, from like 1 to 3 years old, and they were all in there without no other black African people, just African children and a couple of white people with them from an NGO. And they wound up taking them into custody, of course, and like taking the children. The children were all crying uncontrollably, screaming, and just like having a meltdown. And they said that those people were running a trafficking ring where they were like trafficking organs, and of course, sex. That's the number one thing. The organs are secondary, So this thing is very serious. This thing is very serious, and what else? I don't know. How do I want to say this next one too? Another aspect of what's going on with the children is the adrenochrome. I don't know if you guys are familiar with adrenochrome, ADRENO, Chrome, like Google Chrome, adrenochrome. Look it up if you're not familiar with it. But basically what it is an anti-aging molecule that the body produces it's not an anti-aging, it's a hormone that the body, a substance that the body produces when it's like in states of like fright or terror. There's a molecule that your body secretes. And somehow they've managed to figure this out somehow, but it's called adrenochrome. But basically they use it, and they use it basically for like anti-aging and to like stay youthful, and I guess to like heal different diseases and things of that nature. But basically how they get it is how they get it is they terrorize children to the highest point that they can terrorize children. And then they collect this stuff that they produce, and it's called adrenochrome. And this is stuff that's supposed to like heal them and make them like basically like be immortal. And that's what I felt in that dream. Like I felt like whatever terror feels like a pure form of terror is what I felt like in those dreams as I was like in the bodies of these people. So I know this is like, yeah, this might be like kind of deep and heavy, but just take all this information to the Most High, like pray on it and do research, because um, judgment,
Yeah,
that's the next thing we need to talk about.
yeah, yeah. We know these people have had unfortunately had a reign on the world for a long time. They've had the ability to take advantage and, um, just what's the word you've been using lately? Not run amok, hellions.
Hellions.
Man, they just been able to just be freely and devilish all they want, but now all of that is changing with this technology that we have, and we're able to amplify voices, and we're able to spread messages quicker than ever. So, it's time for us to stand into our positions and get into your role of taking care of your family, protecting your household, and protecting those that you love, and putting your people in a good position, and stop being afraid of people who aren't really that powerful. They just use their fear tactics to mess with our minds to keep us scared and moving, but they're actually not that powerful. It's just they have control over our minds to stop us from moving and doing things. So you gotta put your big girl and big man shoes on, and if you're trying to step into this world and do things on a higher level, you gotta attack those hard things and overcome those mental barriers that's been placed in front of us to stop us from moving, because that fear is crippling us from doing what we're supposed to be doing. That fear of other people is stopping us from doing what we're supposed to be doing. So you can't let people keep putting fear in your face if you know what real strength is, if you know what taking care of your people really is. You have to stand on that. You have to really be willing to go against the world for righteousness' sake. You got to be willing to stand against any demon's face and let them know, like, bro, we're not standing for that. That's not how we go. That's not how things operate. You have to be willing to do that in these times, because it's really serious out here. If you wanna take advantage of that freedom that we have access to, you gotta you gotta have a radical mindset to protect yours and mark your territory and let people know, don't play with me. Because once you set your order and set things in stone, they won't play with you. You just got to put yourself in position and cover and protect yourself. So don't be afraid of these people. Don't be afraid of these messages, because if you're getting the message, you have the tools to be strong and cover yourself and keep your family covered with the blood of the Lamb. You'll be all right.
Yeah. And also, I remember, when was it? I don't want to put a date on it, but it was like right around the time the the Rona started, maybe like a little bit before that. There was like a whole big um, thing in the news where, remember how everybody was saying like the Walmarts, that they were turning the abandoned Walmarts into these like facilities where they were going to detain people and do all this stuff. And not you guys, but people were saying, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, and then it turned out to be true. And then they went on to use those same facilities to house the immigrants, the Mexicans and South Americans, people or whoever else who were coming in through the borders. They were actually housing them in these facilities. And then people, I feel like a lot of people like saw that and then like just kind of like went back to sleep. And that stuff that's going on at the border right now with all of those, they're letting in literally like thousands and thousands of people every day. Y'all think that that's for just for play? Like, this is an agenda. They are trafficking those people, the children, the men and the women. They are trafficking them people and sending them out to different countries, different parts of the country, for everything. Like I said, just said adrenochrome, organ harvesting, free labor, anything you can imagine. Sacrifice, child, whatever. And I saw another interview where they were interviewing like some of the people that were at the border, and the people there were like, like they're handing out bags, like how they give you like toiletry bags with like like Q-tips and just some things, toothbrush, whatever, soap to wash and bathe and everything. They were handing out toiletry bags to the people who were crossing over at the border, and they were giving the girls and the little girls and the children condoms, because they said, oh, there's a 9 out of 10 chance that they're going to be raped. So they're literally letting these people in there. This is deep. They're letting these people in there for a reason. And this is also like a warning from the Most High. Like, the church is asleep. like the true ecclesia, the true called out ones, the true chosen ones. Like we're literally letting this stuff go on right up underneath our very noses.
Yeah.
Why isn't more being done? Why aren't people praying and fasting about this? Like this thing is so deep and so sick and so demonic on so many different levels. Like this is literal Baal worship, literal child sacrifice, literal demonic activities going on right under our very noses. You know, and it's like it's a warning. Like, why is my church asleep while blatant wickedness is running rampant?
Yeah. And many people that's watch these videos and know we supposed to be in Africa and know what we're doing and know how we supposed to be moving now have children, and it's deeper than just them doing the trafficking that's going on and taking the children. It's also embedded in the culture over there. Like sexual immorality is a way of life over there.
Child sex is from Greek and Roman times.
Exactly. So they've been passing that on ever since we've been over there. Ever since we've been trapped in that environment, there's always some sexual abuse or something sexually. Like I know in our families, there's sexual abuse passed down from generation to generation to generation to generation because somebody in the family touched somebody and somebody didn't speak up about it or somebody didn't do nothing about it. And it continues to go on because of that environment. It's like known and normal. It's a uncle always messing with a niece, a auntie messing with a nephew, a granddaddy messing with a granddaughter. Some in families, some men are messing with their daughters. Like it's so messed up in that environment. It's messing people's minds up. So we know what we've been experiencing. We know what we've been going through in those environments. So I'm not understanding. Bro, y'all just gotta step up and get out of that situation.
Yeah.
Point blank, period.
And while people are there, tangible things need to be done because I keep seeing stories on the news now about how children are walking to school and police officers and other nefarious people are literally like taking them, snatching them up, taking them to their cars and sexually abusing them and then sending them back. These children are traumatized for life. Once that happens to you, you can overcome anything, of course, but that's trauma that you have to deal with. You don't know how that's going to affect people, how that's going to ruin their lives if possibly some people commit suicide behind these type of things. Yeah. Like I'm just seeing like there's need for like militia. I'm not gonna say militia groups because you can't really just be bearing arms like that. But like just like neighborhood watch groups. Like people need to be walking children to school. Someone needs to be on every corner to make sure these children are getting to school safely. If they're even going to be in the school system, that's another conversation that needs to be had. Like, do I even want to send my children to these institutions? And I know that they're, for one, school to prison pipelines. For two, the people in these schools don't have my children's best agenda at heart. They're pushing this whole trans. Remember, the end is trans. The end is to add all of them letters together from the alphabet community to form one height of sin. They've reached the height of their sin. Remember, Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed when sexual perversion reached its height. So these things are going on, and like conversations need to be had about like, are we going to be sending them to school, or if not, are we going to homeschool? Are we going to form cohorts where families are coming together to school their children? Are we going to go to a more hands-off, like more outdoor learning type of a situation? Because it's just really just not safe for not only physically, spiritually, and just mentally. It's really not safe for our children in these schools. They're jabbing children against your will, doing all sorts of stuff to people's children. Once you get into a child's mind, it's hard to get back in there and put in the right pieces when the wrong pieces are being put in at such a young and delicate age. Yeah. When they did studies on a lot of the people who were ABCD community.
Excuse me. Thank you for the super chat donation. Only 60 games played. Thank you for the donation. We appreciate it. Go ahead.
A lot of the people who are in the alphabet community, when they did studies on them, they found out that like pretty much all of them had been a victim of some sort of child abuse, usually child sexual abuse, and that trauma led them into the lifestyle that they're in, or maybe they had a bad relationship with the opposite gender, and that led them to the same gender. It's usually, those behaviors are usually from spaces of trauma and undealt with pain. Um, so we see what's going on, and like we said in the last video, people have already been given instructions on what to do, whether it's to stay or whether it's to relocate. But I just know a lot of people have been given instructions and are not being obedient. And I know that the church is asleep on this one. There should not be not one more child that goes missing in America. There should not be one more child that has to feel that terror. There should not be one more child that has to go through this ever again. Like, where is the church at?
Yeah. So many people are just so caught up in, unfortunately, the bills, having to pay for things and having to feel like you got to run like a chicken with your head cut off to get things taken care of, that we're neglecting, not we, people are neglecting their roles as a parent, as a protector, as a provider, as a lot, because you just want to get the so-called freedom from something that you sat down and laid down and created. You know, we have a responsibility to create a world, a better world for our children. Like, if you have children, if you were blessed to be able to reproduce children on this earth, you have a duty to stand in the midst or stand in the way of the enemy, of danger, of chaos, in order to make sure that the people behind you are okay. So there's no way that people are able to look at this and sit in it and know that there are other options in the world, that there are other places you can put your family in and not take advantage of the opportunity. I know there's fear of the unknown. I know that there's fear of stepping out on faith. I know that all of that is there. But you have to put your children in an environment where they can thrive, where they can be themselves, where they can do something and fight against what is being placed in our faces, in their faces. It's imperative. We can't keep walking in this fear, because the children are really depending on it. Not even just the children that are close to you and your family. There's a whole world of children that need people with the right mind and the right understanding and the strength and the faith to stand up and say something to these people, man. They can't keep getting away with this type of stuff. Like, there's the I didn't hear it, and just the cry and the screams of a child does something to everybody. So to imagine, I don't even want to keep imagining, but
Yeah,
I hate
even keep saying it
Yeah.
and thinking about it. Like, I like it's been distressing me. Like, just the things that I've seen. Like, I'm like, ugh. Like, I don't even want to think about it anymore.
Yeah. So if you can, man, if you anybody with a heart, anybody with the right mindset, you have to step up and do something. Use your voice, use your platform, use whatever you have to protect the children.
Yeah.
Like, you have to protect the children. If you don't do nothing else, you have to stand in the gap for those who have less understanding. I saw my wife and I was watching a video the other day, and it really helped me realize my role as a father with my son and my daughter. What did she say? She basically was like, when you hear a child whining or really like acting out in a way where they can't express their emotions, like, we are here to help them regulate that emotion and have understanding and know, like, okay, I know what you're thinking, I know what you're dealing with, I know what's going on, but let me help coach you through this. Let me talk to you through this. Let me understand where you at and pull you through this. That's our role as the older generation, as the older ones to these younger children. We have to know and see and understand. If you've been sexually assaulted before, you know how to look around and know when someone is a predator. You can smell it. You can see it. And we know that all these different places that we send our children to have sexual predators lurking. You sending them to different family member houses has
spend
predators
a night. I don't do that.
lurking.
Spend a night stuff. You're not spending the night, but nowhere in that bed over there that we bought you. Ain't no spend the night. I don't trust nobody to spend the night.
Nobody. So we know, like, we have an understanding. So we have to protect our children. You got to be willing to die for something like this.
Yeah.
You got to be.
Yeah, because you're gonna be held accountable for how did you steward my child that I gave you to steward over? Did you put them in harm's way and let them get snatched up into this? And let me tell you something. Most people are not fortunate enough to make it out of those situations. The Most High just allowed me to make it out in them dreams so that I could see that the people in the neighborhoods were all in on it. But most of those people, once they get a hold of them, they found 800 children on a cruise ship. The other few last month, they found 800 children on a cruise ship. Just imagine what they were doing on a cruise ship to 800 children. I'll let your imagination run wild. You're in the middle of the ocean. Who's coming to save you? Who can hear you?
Yeah, y'all.
So, I know this was like, this is a lot to deal with, but we are the light of the world. We are the city on the hill. We have to get into position. We have to break these generational curses. We have to bring light to these matters. We have to stand in the gap. We have to fast, pray, organize, strategize. What are we gonna do while we're there, and how do we get out? You know, what's our next place? Like, where do we go from here? Because there's no change in that system. That system is about to fall. The Most High is judging that place, and it's only gonna get worse. And he is furious about what is going on with his children and just the whole thing that's going on. You know, we talk a lot about slavery and what they did to the Negro and everything like that, but this is also up there with all of that. The trafficking of his people into perversion around the world.
You don't know how evil
really
is. Man,
I know.
We can't even fathom the level of evilness that people have had to endure or are enduring.
Yeah. So guys, like the place is under judgment for all of these sins, this wickedness that's going on. Whatever instructions you receive from the Most High, take heed to it. Whether he told you this month, last year, in 2020, whenever he told them to you, the last instructions that you got from the Most High is what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
If you were disobedient, it's okay. You still have time to repent and do what he told you to do. Because warning has already went out.
Yeah.
That place is under judgment.
Yeah. I was talking to one of my former principals a few months ago, and she was sort of attempting to debate with me on this move, and she was like talking about how basically a lot of people don't think we should be here in Africa doing this type of stuff. And that really wasn't what she was saying, but that's just a conversation that was sort of going on, like, what did you think about this, what is about that? And I was like, okay, you trust God, you read the Bible, you believe in Jesus, you understand everything that the Bible talks about. So if God is real, if you have faith and you understand all of that, do you really think that after all we've been through, God is not going to judge this place? You really think that something is not going to happen over here where judgment rains down and help the people who've been historically disenfranchised, who've been intentionally put in a bad position? So do you really understand, do you really not think that our God is going to answer for us? Thank you for the super chat donation.
Thank you,
Patricia.
Patricia. Blessings to you and your family. Prayers and thank you.
Yeah. So do you not think that God is going to judge that place? If the Bible talks about judgment, if the Bible talks about him helping his people with a mighty stretched out arm, don't you think everything that we've endured over there is worthy of a stretched out arm? 2 stretched out arms, like, come on, my children. You got to understand, this is real. Like, we have a choice now, though. We literally have a choice. We got a small window. We keep saying it's a small window for you to be able to get out of there and put yourself in a different position and replenish yourself and do things properly for your family.
And get your children out of the snare's way, because I don't know if y'all remember that song that they came out with. First of all, there's 2 things they came out with. If you guys haven't read it, the first one is the GAY manifesto. I think they put that out in like the 60s or 70s. Look it up. The GAY manifesto, and it talks about how they were planning to bring this agenda into the population, and they were basically going to force it on people.
It's written out, y'all.
Yeah. Also, there was a song that they just came out with, and it's called "We're Coming for Your Children." I don't know if
Literally.
you guys saw it, but it was basically the alphabet community, and they were singing that song, saying "We're coming for your children."
In a
This was
choir.
in a choir. So they're not making any qualms, or they're not even hiding it anymore about what their agenda is, because you know why? They already have everything pretty much in place. They're ready to roll this thing on out. I don't know if you guys have been watching the other current events that's been going on, but they just rolled out WorldCoin, which is basically the universal digital token that they're trying to make sure that everybody gets to get their universal basic income. So this thing is full steam ahead, like we're in the end, and this wickedness is just running them up. They don't have anything left to hide. This is their last final play. They're already civil wars coming. They already charging Trump with another set of charges, and y'all already know how his base is. They gonna get down. They gonna ride about Trump. So they're already setting things up for it to be a civil war, and of course they're blaming it on the woke left, which of course includes minorities such as ourselves. So we're already being blamed to be set up for the destruction of their civil liberties and patriotism and the American dream and everything like that. I hope everyone is paying attention to what's going on, because prophecy is being fulfilled right before our very eyes, and things are only just speeding up and getting worse. Nothing is getting better, unfortunately. So just pay attention, guys, and remember, prayer is our greatest weapon. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but are mighty in Yah to the pulling down of strongholds. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rulers of wickedness in high places.
Amen.
So we need to be strategic about what we're tearing down. I'm pretty sure attack is coming after this, but I'm ready. Be specific about the idols that you're talking about. Name them. If you know their names, name them. It's time for the church to, the Christ said in Revelations, he was mad at the church, the lukewarm church, because he said, you need the hot nor cold. You just there. Like, I would rather you was either hot or cold. Like, you're just there. Like, children are being attacked, and all this stuff is going on, and the church is just not doing what the church needs to do. Why are we not front lines on the front battlefield, like on the wall, watching on the wall? We're just like being complacent and, oh, my family's okay, I just watch over my family. It's not good enough to just watch over your family. You're stewards of all the children and orphans and widows of the earth. You are your brother's keeper. Even though I know they try to like not promote that, but you are in fact your brother's keeper. So we have to get serious about the wickedness that's going on in the earth. We are called to build the kingdom, and we are called to be the light. And we can't do that if we're scared, our mouths are shut, we're not warring in the spirit on a daily, fasting and praying and getting together to actually come together with solutions to thwart these things and protect our communities against what's coming on the earth. Because that's the only way people are going to make it out of there, is one, if they get out of there, and two, if they're working together in communities.
And with working together in the communities and being in that environment, I want everybody to really pray and keep discernment. Ask for the Most High to continue to reveal discernment and help you to see what really is going on, because I know that they use the media in certain clips and certain altercations or interactions in order to evoke a certain emotion out of us and cause us to act in a way that'll be detrimental to our future and to what we want to do. So I'm saying, if you see something on one of these phones, one of these videos, and it causes you to feel a certain way and causes you to want to react in a detrimental manner, I want you to pray about it and make sure that it's something that you're supposed to be doing, or did they trigger your emotion with an image that they showed you, because they know how to use different imagery. Yes, I know we deal with certain things in that country. Yes, I know that there are certain evil people that try and bother our people. But a lot of those news clips and a lot of those clippings that they show us is to cause us to react in a way that'll make us do things that we're not supposed to be doing. So just make sure that what you're looking at is something that's true and real. And if you are led to move on something, pray for discernment to make sure that that's what you're supposed to be doing. Don't get caught up in doing things that they want you to do because they put something in your face. Have discernment and be strong in your emotions, and understand the times that we're in, and understand how sometimes they use the media as a tool to, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess trick us and make us do things that we don't want to do. Yeah, it's it's real out here in this world, man.
Yeah.
I think what was his name? James Baldwin. What did he say? What did he say? To have understanding is to like be enraged all the time. Like you gotta balance between like not going off on people.
Man is angry.
Yeah.
At all the injustice and sin and everything that's going on.
It's hard to look at the world sometimes when you know what's going on. But, this is what we got to do. Not Christ. Abba made Moses turn around. He didn't even want to look at what's going on to his people. He was like, okay, I understand. Look at it. You have to feel that. You have to know, like, our lives are not ours. Like, we have a duty to still speak for the impoverished, still speak for the people that's trapped at the bottom, that still can't speak for themselves. There's children in the hood that I have to speak for. There's people that I know that won't even get access to a platform like this. There's people that I know that I've seen experience things that won't have a voice to say something. I've experienced things, so I have to use my platform as a voice to speak on those things so that the next generation or the next child or the next person won't have to deal with those type of things. So if you have understanding, you still have a duty to reach back and help the ones that don't understand and help the ones that's less fortunate. We can't leave nobody in the hood. We can't leave nobody down in the gutter, down in poverty. We have to reach back and get everybody. That's not how anybody's supposed to be living. We shouldn't be in lack. Nobody should be in lack. There's enough abundance around the entire world for all of us to be good. So with that in mind, we can't forget about nobody. Even though some of our people, they don't get it. It's hard for them to get it. It takes a lot for us to get into their head. But nevertheless, we still gotta do it. Cause what's the point of making it if I can't bring my brother with me? What's the point of me making it to this next level or making it into the level of healing and understanding if I can't bring my brother with me, if I got to keep looking back and like, dang, man, he don't get it yet. Dang, they don't get it yet. So we still got to reach back and let our people know the truth in the game and let people know, like, man, you can make it out of that and you can fight through it, but it's going to take some oomph. Yeah, do what you got to do. Yeah, we got to roll. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think I don't know if you want to say anything, but I wanted to read this scripture. This is Revelation 18:2. And it says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And that is what is upon America now, is literally every sin, every sexual perversion, every wicked, weird, demonic thing, beast idea is present there. Like, it's just crazy. Like, and even living in the society of America and being like born into it, some stuff you would just think like it's just common, but it's not. Like, even in, like, I'll speak for Tanzania, they don't have strip clubs in Tanzania. You can't go to, they don't have pornography stores where you can just go in there and buy dildos. Hustlers, that store hustlers, you can't go in there and buy dildos and pornographic sex tapes and things like that. I don't even think you can watch it on the internet over here unless you turn on the VPN. So when you go to other places and you compare it to America, you see, like, this is exactly what the scripture is saying. It's become the habitation of every foul and unclean and wicked thing over there. Like anything you can think of is normal there. Grown men dressed as babies, living in cribs. People marrying trees and wells and raping animals and raping children. Like this is this is from Babylon. This is from the devil, you know. So that was pretty much it for this what we wanted to talk about today. Did you want to say anything?
Yeah. Just be strong, y'all. Have faith and man, be strong in these times and don't give up and don't give up on the children. They need us. They need us to stand in our roles. They need us to do what we need to do.
It's a command.
Right.
From the Most High.
Man. And none of us are perfect, you know. Even though we may have made mistakes, we may have done things where we know we don't feel worthy of stepping up and being in a role of authority and being in a role of being in position to make sure that we are good. But with understanding and with forgiveness and with grace, you're able to tap back into that power. And our children need us to tap into that power. They need us to be our best selves and our strong selves. So make sure that you tap into that. Don't allow your thoughts of your past, of your failures, of your mistakes, stop you from moving on to something better and being better than yesterday. You can always touch up and do things differently from what you did yesterday. So, you know, don't have a pity party from the mistakes that you made. If you are, you know, you've made mistakes as a parent, you've unfortunately let things happen, you still have a role to fix that. You still have an opportunity to get in a position to cover them and put them in a better place. So, you know, they need us. It's a commandment. We have to get into our roles of making sure that we keep them protected, man. So if you have children and you know you're supposed to make a move like this, man, it's better to be here than there and dealing with things. I tell you that. I know when I was there.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say somebody said there's stuff going on in Africa. So yeah, I just mentioned about the Chad. This is coming from, again, this is going back to Babylon. These are not normal African behaviors. The vast majority of African people do not participate or even condone or accept perversion and sexual mischievousness. Now, if you see these things going on in Africa, it's usually because people are indoctrinated by the West. It's coming from the West. So yes, it does go on all around the world, but what we're saying is most prevalent and it's reached the height of its wickedness in the Western societies.
And then in Africa, there's something called street justice.
Yeah. Street justice. They ain't gonna just sit by and say, oh man, that's messed up. Dang, that's what they doing to the children and go on about their business. They're gonna find you with their machetes and take you out to the bush, and it's gonna be that bush justice. That's what's gonna happen if you go messing with somebody's children over here.
So yeah,
you're not gonna make it to the next day.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Dang. Oh, I forgot. But yeah, that's another tactic of the enemy to try and bring things that's irrelevant and try and stop us from doing what we're doing. So understand, y'all, we have the role and the power to make sure that our families are protected. So if you're under the sound of my voice, our voice, and you have a message and you got a call to move and put your family in a better position, yes, that's what it was. I was in America, and before we left, I got pulled over with my son, and we was at a plantation. A plantation / it was transformed into a park. And I called myself going to the park, having a family outing, and we got racially profiled. And I knew at that moment, like, bruh, I don't have to keep my child over here and have to deal with this. Like, why? Like, why am I why would I put him in this crazy situation if I know that there's other options in the world? I know that there's something else that we can do. I know that I can go somewhere and build and we'll be good and not have to worry about these type of people. Because I remember to this day, the first time I had to watch my father get handcuffed and, like, deal with that and have to come through that emotion on my own. So I never wanted my child or my son to have to experience that, let alone get handcuffs put on him. So there's certain things that we've experienced, like I said earlier, we've experienced things as children, we've experienced things as young adults that we know that we don't want our children to experience. And we keep taking chances on trying to get more of the bag, trying to get more money.
Yeah, it's always about money. Oh, I had to go back, and I'm not saying don't support your family, but like at what expense? You know, like at what sacrifice?
Man, so you can't sacrifice your children for money, bro.
Yeah.
If you got this call and you got this understanding, man, get your children out of there. He'll provide for you and those children in a different place.
Even if you don't leave, at least get them out the school system. Like if you
At
can,
least.
or the daycare.
Yeah.
All of them, they're all wicked. They're all in on it. It's a big. Everybody's in on it. People
Yeah.
you wouldn't even think of. I mean, think about all the pastors that we grew up with. The black, so-called black pastors who were part of a lot of them were part of the Divine Nine, the Greek fraternities and sororities. And look what they were doing in the churches. They were doing all sorts of evil, wicked practices, as well as sleeping with children and women in churches. So this thing is deep. Like
Yeah,
it
it's in the
pervades
culture.
every fabric of the culture over there. It's not anything that is going to go away anytime soon. In fact, it's just getting worse and bigger. The sex industry is $1 billion industry.
It's crazy you said that. You remember we had a conversation with I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you was there or I was there by myself, but at the time, thank you for the super chat donation, John
And Zola.
and Zola.
These streams have been hitting me different lately.
All
Yeah.
praises.
It's the voice of the Most High. He's getting more urgent with the messages and more serious and detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, she was talking about how it was a family that came and visited us a few months ago, and they were talking about how I think the husband said he was I don't know if he was a choir director, or him and his wife were like active servers, like they were there. They were active members that was always involved. They was making sure that they was helping the church grow. I don't know if he was assistant pastor or something, but he had a role in the church. Man, the head preacher was actually like molesting and raping their son in the church office, like for years on hand. And these people were active servers, like making sure that they were doing things in the church and making sure that they was helping the church prevail, move forward. And that was the thanks that they got from the so-called head preacher in charge. That's what he was doing to the children. Not even just their child, it was the children, because the child didn't come out. Another child came out, and that sparked an entire investigation, and like multiple children ended up coming out after the fact.
I feel like that's in every black church, because even like in the church I grew up with, it was the same thing, like grown men messing with children. And thank God nobody ever tried me, because I was the PK, the preacher's kid. They're not gonna mess with the preacher's kid, of course. But like I know my friends and my cousins and stuff, they used to be trying to talk to them. Young girls in the church, grown men, married men. And matter of fact, one did try me when I got older. So yeah, it's going on in the church.
So yeah, man. At this point, we know better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you get information like this, and we can't keep running from it. Like we gotta face it head on.
Young Jew, thank you for the super donation.
Thank you, Young Jew. We appreciate the donation. Yeah, we can't keep running from the reality of the situation and running from the truth, man. We gotta call these devils out. Call the wickedness out. It's nothing but a spirit of lust that's overtaking people. That's all it is. So call this spirit out. Because it won't do nothing but cower and run away.
Lust and other things. Too.
Yeah, a whole bunch of other things.
Things.
Call it out when you see it. Call it out for what it is and stand strong and protect your people. Protect those who you are called to protect. Everybody have a group of people or individuals that they are called to protect that's close in their vicinity. So, you know.
Yeah, somebody said in the Gambia, the parents are giving their children to the white tourists. Yeah, exactly. That's going back to they're only doing that. They're capitalizing off those people because those people are poor. They're living, they're making a few dollars a day to feed whole entire families. These people are starving and living in abject poverty. So they're doing whatever. I'm not justifying it, but I'm saying that the people from the West are taking advantage of these people by coming over there, offering them all this money to go off and do whatever it is that they've set up to do. So, and I want to read this quote because it's like, if people in the Gambia know, and I'm not saying whoever mentioned that they need to go out and be like, a social justice warrior, but what I am saying is, if it's a known fact that that's going on in the Gambia, why is them folks still over there? Is my question. If y'all know that people are going to the Gambia to rape the children over there, why isn't anything being done about it? So I want to read this quote. It says, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." So by doing nothing, like, you're in fact complicit in what's going on. If you're turning a blind eye, if you're saying, "Oh, that's not me," my children are good, you're basically you're part of letting evil run amok on the earth. So
don't let evil prevail, man.
Yeah.
Don't be fearful.
Don't just sit by idly and don't do anything. We all have a role to play in taking back this kingdom. It's a hostile takeover. We can't just sit back and just be observers and watching and talking. It's too much talking. It's time to get into action. And it's a call to action. It's a call to action because children and people are being terrorized on this earth right under our noses.
Yep. So do something about it, man. We all have a role, we all have a place, and we all have an opportunity. You got breath in your body, and you have an understanding. This is what you're supposed to be doing.
Warriors at? What, like, all the people, if you from the Gambia, you watching this, you a Gambian, I'm not expecting a diaspora to go over there and get violent because that's not your country. But if you from the Gambia and you know that these people are coming into your country, why y'all not doing the jungle justice is my question. Because I know y'all have, I can't even say all that on YouTube. Why y'all not doing jungle justice? Like, this is a call to everybody, all the continental Africans. Y'all need to get these people about your countries that are doing these things. And for those who are in America, y'all need to get up out of that country because they're not going to stop. That's their country. Let them have it. And if you're a Native American Indian, cool. This message isn't for you.
Happy purge.
Right. Good luck.
Good luck.
When SHT up, because it's happening faster than we thought. You know what I'm saying? So all the continental Africans, get these folks about your countries. If they're over there trafficking children, they gotta go.
Yeah. Point.
This is like my 5th time hearing about the Gambia, so it must be a thing. Somebody said they come and just snatch the children. No, they just selling them to them.
So yeah, man. If you man, we all got a duty and a role in this thing. So, bro, you gotta stand strong. Faith and fear cannot occupy the same vessel. Faith and fear cannot occupy the same vessel. You gotta have some strength and some oomph if you want to make it in these times, man. You gotta look fear, or you gotta look this stuff in the eye and let it know that it won't rule you. It won't cause you to back away from your calling. It won't cause you to not walk the path. Because though we walk through the valley of shadow of death, we shall fear no evil. Amen. No evil. No evil, bro. So if you bad, if you able to still see, if you able to still breathe, you shouldn't be fearing no evil. You should be standing strong in your place, in your role, in your God-given position to protect the world, to protect these people, to protect the ones you are called to protect, man. So, hey.
And before we go, I have one last verse I want to read. This is from Luke 10:19, and it says, "Behold, I give you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you." This is a changing of the guards. This is our time. These people are fallen. They're no longer in power in the spiritual realm. What you see unfolding in the natural realm has already taken place. The war has already been won and fought in the spiritual realm. And you're seeing the manifestation of things on the earth happening in the natural realm. But Christ already took the power back from the enemy when he gave up his life on the cross. So we have nothing to fear. We should be, no evil should be allowed to be on this earth no more. We know who we are. We know that we're chosen ones. We know that we're Hebrews. We know that we're the children of the Most High. So therefore, we have the authority over all of these serpents, all of these devils, all of these wicked rulers, and everything.
And they know it.
And they know it. They know that their time is up. That's why they're trying to shut everything down and hurry up and do this whole great reset. So, I don't know. I think we should pray before we close it out. Don't be fearful when you listening to this message for people who are going to be watching it on a playback. This is not to invoke fear, but this is just to have a realistic conversation about what's going on in the world. This world is given over to Satan. It's going to hell in the handbasket. And those who are of the light, it's our time.
Yep. It's our time to step in our rightful positions and into our roles and do what we're supposed to be doing.
Bring order and justice on this earth once again. Somebody said again, yeah. So, hold on. Before we go, we're going to pray. But I think Tim had to use the bathroom real quick. Declare Psalms 91. I say that every day. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And my other scripture that I say all the time is, pray always that you be accounted worthy to escape what is coming upon the earth and to stand before the Son of Man. I say those scriptures all the time. Cover yourself, cover your children. Somebody said anoint your children. Absolutely. You have to pull out all the stops. You have to constantly be in prayer. You have to make sure you're worshiping, because worship is a weapon as well. You need to be in your scriptures. You need to be in your word. You need to be listening for the voice of the Most High. If he's waking you up in the middle of the night, you need to get up and pray. I'm talking to myself too, because it's easy to go back to sleep. Write your dreams down, because he's giving people a lot of different messages and things that need to be imparted. There's a lot of souls that need to be saved. It's a whole harvest out here. It's a lot of things that we the church, the ecclesia, need to be doing in order to usher in the kingdom. So that's it, guys. Did you want to say anything else?
No. Just stay strong, y'all. Have faith. Don't let fear get you. And we fight with the word. We have the power, we have dominion. We just got to make sure we stay on the word and stay prayerful, and keep our souls protected, man, and keep a positive mindset about what we're dealing with. Know that if we seeing it, it's already overtaken, it's already overcame. So we just have to walk it out and trust the process of us making it to the other side. Pray and ask for the direction that you should go. If you don't know where you need to go, if you don't know where you're led yet, if you know it's just out of that place or into a new place, just pray and ask for direction and have the comfort and the shalom peace to know that, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. So be encouraged, you all. Don't allow these topics in this time to deter you and keep you scared, and not keep you, but make you scared to what we're supposed to be doing. To make you scared to moving and doing what you know you're supposed to be doing for your family. Like, nobody should be, unfortunately, arguing with a spouse about making this move or not. Like, if you have children, if you have a family, why are y'all at odds about getting your children out of that situation? Why are y'all playing with the blessing of understanding? Why? Like, we have a mandate to put our children in the best position. So, man, if you're under the sound of our voice and you are having marital problems about this move, we pray that you guys get on the same page and figure out how y'all can get over here together. Don't allow, the comfort, the so-called comforts of America, the so-called comforts of your bills, of your paycheck, so-called comfort of your good job, stop you from putting your family in a good position. Man, because your spouse might have the authority to leave you if you plan. go on without you. You wake up one day, the whole house clear because you not moving properly. Some people getting the call, but the spouse is holding them back. Stop holding your spouse back. Stop holding your family back. Bro, they are coming to get your children. They are coming to get your wife. They are trying to take over our families, bro. If you don't get your head out of your... Bro, get yourselves together and stop arguing with y'all spouses about this move, man. Y'all know better. Y'all know what we supposed to be doing. Y'all know this call. It's heavy. It's a heavy call. It's a heavy burden. I know a lot of men are afraid to step out of that system because they demasculated us for so long. We don't feel like that we can do anything outside of this system. It's hard. It's difficult, but it's possible, bro. You just got to dig deep and overcome. You're going to have to cry some days. You're going to have to heal those little wounds that you got inside of you, but you actually going to have to take a chance to put your family in a good position. You cannot break the curses fully being in that environment. I'm sorry. There will be a remnant of something still in your family if you don't get them out of that environment.
Yeah, and the Most High is not a respecter of persons. I know some people are not going to want to hear this, but it needs to be said. Even with Lot, when he rescued them out of after Abraham begged him, like, please go over there. He said, I can't find 10 righteous people in there. He got down to one righteous man. They went over there to come and save them, risk being raped, to come over there and save them. And she turned around. Y'all know the story. She got turned into a pillar of salt. So the Most High said, who is my mother? Who is my sister? Who's my brother? Those who do the will of the Most High. He said, I didn't come to bring peace. Let me read the scripture because I don't want to quote it properly. Hold on. Okay, here you go. It says, suppose ye that I'm come to bring peace on earth? He said, I tell you no, but rather division. From henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother, the mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And hold on, did it pull up the whole thing? Hold on, y'all. Where'd it go? Okay, I think it went away on me. But y'all get the point. Okay, there it go. And he said also, okay, he said, and mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it comes to pass. But ye are hypocrites. Ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that you do not discern this time? And yea, and why even of yourselves do you not judge what is right? And when thou was okay, I ain't gonna read the rest, but he's basically saying, like, y'all don't see what's going on? Like, you could look in the sky, see that it's about to rain. You could look at the cloud covering, you see that a storm is about to come, but how come y'all can't discern the times? And unfortunately, those who were told to go and they're letting family members or basically like family members keep them, that's disobedience, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's a part of breaking the generational curses. You have to ruffle feathers in your family in order to break the curses. You have to. You have to unpeel and unpack and talk about the tough things that they don't want to talk about in order for you to move forward on your journey to healing and breaking the generational curses. It goes hand in hand. Unfortunately, you have to have those hard talks. That's why it brings division, because you gonna confront your parents about something that they do not want to talk about. Your grandparents, you're gonna confront them about some stuff that they trying to sweep under the rug. So you're gonna talk about it and they're gonna be like, They're gonna try to dismiss it, not gonna want to talk about it, and that's where the division come in. It's like, hold on, I'm just trying to work and heal and talk, and they like, no, I don't want to talk about it, and that's gonna leave you in a spot where you like, okay,
call you crazy, talk bad about you, and all sorts of stuff.
Man, so that's the division that he's speaking of when you get that conviction to move in a different direction, when you get that conviction in your spirit to do things differently from what the family been used to doing, that's where the division comes in. You gave your life to Christ. He started giving you a new way of seeing, a new way of doing things, a new way to heal. So now you're trying to practice that and do that. And the people that's living in that type of stuff that you're not trying to live in is gonna try and keep you there. They're gonna try and keep pulling you down unintentionally. Some of it is unintentionally, some of it is intentionally. Some people are so broken and at such a low vibrational state that they don't even know that they are agent of discord. They don't even know that they are someone that's still causing trauma. They're still creating mess. They don't even know that they're a bad person because they're so broken, basically. Like, their responses is bad. They just got a bad aura about them because they just so broken and unhealed. So when you try and confront that and you try to talk about healing things and you try and shine light on certain things that's gonna make them so-called look like a bad person, you're gonna trigger some demons. You're gonna trigger some curses. You're gonna trigger some things in your families that don't want to be seen and talked about. So that's gonna put you by yourself.
And what if you're the one that's supposed to break the generational curses and free up your bloodline and you're disobedient? You're gonna have to pay for that.
Man.
Like, this stuff is not just about us. We see that whatever we do on this earth is gonna affect to the third and the fourth generation. Just like why we're in this situation is because something our great grandparents did or didn't do. And the same thing applies to us. We can't just call them wicked, and we're also wicked too for being disobedient to the call and to what needs to be done. It's just a few people doing work, and it's millions of people who claim they love Christ. All these millions and millions of people, they said the greatest religion in the world, Christianity, and I know, we can argue about, okay, that's from Catholicism, but at the root of it is the belief in Christ, right? And the belief in the 10 commandments, right? Love each other, feed the orphan, feed the widow, don't steal. We all claim to be aligned with this belief system. Why is all this stuff still going on in the world? It causes you to question, like, okay, like, a lot of these people are just lip service. It's just lip service, there's no action.
Yep. Unfortunately.
So.
Yeah. So, hey.
We just said we about to go like 3 different times. I gotta go.
Don't be afraid to bring the sword in your family. Don't be afraid to speak the truth, y'all.
Be bold. Be courageous. Be prepared to ruffle some feathers. Be prepared to be not liked. Be prepared to be called in everything but a child of the Most High. But it's okay. Pick up your cross and carry on, because guess what? There's a reward for you. Seek ye first the kingdom, and everything will be added onto you. So if you're doing His will, you're not going to want for anything. Yep. You're going to be tested and tried, and you have to go through trials and tribulations, but He's going to keep you through it all.
Keep providing.
So, yes.
So, yeah, y'all. Man, keep doing the work.
Yeah.
Don't get deterred. Don't let these people stop you.
Keep doing the work.
Yeah.
Israel, keep spreading this gospel throughout when this gospel be spread throughout the 4 corners, and then the end shall come. Keep spreading this gospel. Keep spreading the truth of the Most High. Keep speaking truth to power. Keep talking about these situations. Keep praying. Keep doing meaningful things in order to turn things around. So with that said, let's go ahead and pray out, y'all, because we need to stay prayed up in the midst of all this wickedness and these shifts that's going on. And again, even though wickedness is going on, it's still a beautiful time for Israel, because we know that it's the beginning of our world and the end of theirs. But on the way out, we're going to have to fight in the spiritual. So everybody can touch and agree with us. And we're going to say a prayer before we go.
All right, Abba, Yah, we thank you for this day. We thank you for another opportunity to be used by you.
Amen.
We just thank you for helping us to be yielded vessels for you, Abba. We just ask that this message touch those it's supposed to touch. For those who have ears to hear, Abba, we ask that this message sticks to them. Amen. We ask that you just cover and protect everyone that received a word on this night. Amen. And we ask that you just give them the discernment, give them the strength, give them the endurance to continue to press through and forward on this journey that you have us on. because we know that we all need one another. So we just thank you for this opportunity and this time to be able to be used by you and to be connected to you, Abba. We ask that you just continue to cover us, continue to protect us, and continue to make us more like you. Continue to remove any demonic entity, word, spirit, witch, or warlock that's trying to stop us from our growth and our movement. We ask that you stop it and bind it right now in the mighty name of Yahushua. We ask that you continue to strengthen us, continue to build us, and continue to help us usher in this kingdom for you. So cover and protect our people, Abba. Give them your sound mind. Have your heavenly angels encamp around each and every individual that has received the word on this day. Protect them in the spiritual and in the natural realm so that they continue to move forward in you. And help any marriage or any couple that's at odds about getting in a good position. Help them to come at peace with one another and see the truth of what you would have them to see so that they can build what you would have them to build. And we just thank you for this opportunity, and we thank you for the peace that you bestowed upon us. We know that the spirit of fear has no dominion in any of us as long as we believe in you. So that we know that we believe in you, we have the power to trample over any demon, any snake, any witch or warlock that's trying to hinder our growth and hinder the blessings that you have promised us. So help us to continue to walk in that peace, in that love, and in that understanding. We just thank you for this time and this grace and this opportunity. It's all in your son, Yeshua's name. We pray and give thanks.
Amen.
Amen.
And Abiyah, I stand in agreement with all of the words that were spoken today. And I ask, Lord, Abiyah, that you see what is going on this earth. You have revealed to your servants and to your prophets. You have given us dreams and visions of things that are taking place and things to come, Abiyah. I just bind up every witch, every warlock, every sex trafficker, every demonic force and entity who is touching these children, who is terrorizing these children, who is raping and harming these children, Abiyah. I command them to be burned by Holy Ghost fire, Abiyah. I come against all the principalities, Dagon, Bel, Molech, all of you. I command you to leave right now. Leave these children alone. Leave this earth alone. I command all of the people who are of the kingdom of the Most High to stand up against these principalities, Abiyah. And I just ask for protection, Abiyah. I ask that you just expose every child sex trafficking ring, every sex trafficking ring around this world. I ask that they be exposed. I ask that they be brought to justice. I ask that they be dealt with swiftly, Abiyah. And I ask that you just give our people discernment. Give the children discernment. Cover them and protect them. Have your heavenly angels to encamp around them everywhere they go, Abiyah. Follow them to and fro, Abiyah. Let no one harm or hurt them, Abiyah. Cover all of our children. Cover all of our children in the blood of Yesu, Abiyah. We place them in your hands, Abiyah. We take them out of the hands of the enemy, Abiyah. You cannot have our children. You can't have our children. They belong to you, Abiyah. Get thee hence, Hasatan. We have the power to tread on serpents, the power to tread on scorpions. So we just ask, Abiyah, for your protection. We thank you for your protection. We thank you for revealing the enemy. We thank you for destroying the enemy. We thank you for destroying this whole global ring that they have operating. We thank you for exposing it and destroying them swiftly, Abiyah. We thank you for your people standing up in this hour and locking arm in arm to do your will upon this earth, to bring justice and peace and all of the things that you would have us to bring upon this earth, and getting rid of all of the things of the kingdom of darkness. Amen. So we just thank you, Abiyah. Hallelujah.
Amen. Hallelujah. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe out there. Stay encouraged. And keep going. Don't give up. Don't let these people stop you. And the spirit of fear is not real, all right? Have faith. Keep pushing. Keep going. And y'all get on the same page and keep the children protected. All right? Y'all be safe. Shalom.